all we know is that the technology is apparently in the car. It's able to do it, and it has been able to do it for some time, but the government is not releasing the ability to have that put in action. So although the technology might be there, government isn't allowing us to access it necessarily. So
as far as what, like the more enhanced version of the update?
Exactly right. Yeah, because there already is some self-driving capabilities, right? You've got, the car already stays in its own lane. It changes lanes, at least for the Tesla. Other cars have followed suit in some things. It'll brake and keep up with traffic. It'll monitor its distance between cars. But right now, it won't stop at a stoplight. You have to have a car in front of you in order to see that.
Yeah, so we posted a video, remember, on EV Pros page on the Instagram? It was like the beta update. That one actually did stop on the stoplight. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, it did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a new update then that's coming out that's gonna, I don't know. For those cars.
So do you think it's actually gonna be here sooner than later? Do you think people will adapt?
Well, I sure hope so. I think so. I think it's going to stimulate
self-driving.
Yeah, it's going to stimulate sales. That's for sure, because people are going to be enamored. Last time we spoke, we talked about change, right? People need change, and I think this is one of those things where a change will stimulate purchasing, because people think, hey, that's a newfangled gadget, and if I can get a car that actually does stop at a stoplight, and I can let's do it. The idea of falling asleep behind the wheel, though, and entering a destination is a little bit strange.
I would say the falling asleep part, that would be a little bit out of the comfort zone as far as to let the car drive itself.
Right.
But I feel like, the update would be good enough to just stop at the stoplight. I don't think it'll actually take it. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy how technology works, man.
Well, it's pretty staggering that a car can actually respond to the world around it. It is a degree of artificial intelligence to some degree. The car is interpreting and taking in all these signals that's outside of itself, and interpreting that and then changing its own behavior to create a more pleasurable experience, a safer ride, and then an all-around betterment for the environment as a whole. Because if you have a vehicle that is now, maybe monitoring its own behavior, where it's not slamming on the brake at the last minutes, it's monitoring that. So
it gauges, right? It gauges the distance.
Very much so.
It reads out. Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
So it's going to be a lot better for the environment. Now you're not burning through tires as fast. So there are so many positives that do come out of it. It'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. And to what degree, how far away are we from, right now I'm at 1234 Main Street, and I want to go to, 2000 block of Brookhurst Street, and I press enter and go. Can I literally let go and it's going to take me there no matter?
Will it switch lanes from you? Right? I know what you mean.
Yeah. Will it do everything? Will it know when to turn? Will it take the right avenue? Will it stop at the stoplight? Will it turn left? How about if there's a kid crossing the street as my car is turning left? Will it see it in time, the child in time to stop? I don't know. That scares the heck out of me.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
When you start involving people, right?
Exactly.
And potential accidents. But if you're doing the auto driving part, I feel like if you're doing the right speed limit, right? Like it should be able to read everything around it pretty well.
I sure hope so. We're going to find out.
So you got the Rivian, right?
Yeah.
I heard those get pushed back.
Well, and I imagine now with Corona, it's kind of reevaluating everybody's production dates and release dates for everything. But even with that said, they want to perfect this vehicle, and they were suggesting late 2020, which would be the end of this year. It's probably not going to be for a while.
Yeah.
I imagine at least another year. The challenge comes in is, it's being funded by a lot of private investors. And, how long can they continue to keep this private investment, especially if their own portfolio with, Corona has plummeted. are they going to be able to keep up their investment into a company that's already not showing any kind of profit because they haven't released the vehicle? So that'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. It still will. I'm confident of that, but I'm sure there's some shuffling around and some reevaluating of how they're going to access capital to continue their operations.
What are they funded by? I think it was
it's a lot of private investors. Well, yeah, Ford did buy a significant portion of them about 4 to 6 months ago, I think it was, and that was a huge influx of capital. But other than that, it's a lot of capital investors. People that
private funders.
That have done well and that see opportunity and they see it. Not necessarily from either just a fiduciary or the environmental perspective. They probably see it from both. Like, hey, this is actually a really good idea, and they've seen how Tesla has done, and that it is a viable market, and they want to get out ahead of it. And for a lot of these guys, and when I say guys, I mean that in the neuter term, females or males or whoever, they want to invest in things that excite them. And for a lot of them, this is exciting. It's not just the next widget. It's something exciting for them that they can really get into. So for them, I don't think it's a large jump for them to want to jump on to get on board and dump a few $1 million into a company that for them may not be a big to do at all, but they're seeing it as something exciting to get into. So hopefully they can continue the funding and continue to get what they're looking for optimal rates, especially with the battery. They're looking for a minimal. They're going to be sub 400, but on their lower batteries, but their larger battery packs, I think, are going to get over 400 miles per charge. That's mileage.
Is that usually like the biggest hurdle when you're making an EV? Is it like the battery part of making the EV?
It really is. That's look at this. What's the name of our show, right?
Yeah.
The anti-range anxiety show. Yeah, I mean, so really, the goal of this isn't can we build an electric vehicle? The Tesla's released already the technology several years ago. Go ahead. Here's what we did. Build it. Right. What we're really looking for is better battery technology or a way to preserve, the available load we have, so that we're able to get more out of our battery, charging less time or charging at a more rapid pace without degradation of the battery. And then, of course, how do we get, over 400 miles at a minimum of charge? I think the Roadster, or the reinvention of it, is they're trying to get something like 600-700 miles out of that thing. I don't know who can ride 600 miles without using the restroom, but that's, I guess, maybe they offer with a toilet. I don't know.
But the Roadster, that's like the sports car, right?
It is, yeah.
I wonder why they would put that type of capacity of mileage on a car like that and not on a normal driving person, like that goes to work. I don't feel like the Roadster's a daily. Do you think it's a daily car?
Well, for some people it might be, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's not like the Model 3, which is a very, it's like it's the Volkswagen Bug of the modern century. Back in when the Bug or Beetle first came out, it was designed to do exactly what it did do. Cheap to make, cheap to repair, cheap to run, and it was for the masses. And kind of the Model 3 is more or less the modern Beetle, if you will. Yeah. It's for the common individual because it's sub 50 grand. Most of the time when you go to buy a car nowadays, you're going to be spending 35 to 40 grand to get a car of any kind of stature or something you want to hold on to for a few years. So
2020, right? We're talking about like 2020.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a Toyota or something.
Well, if you're buying a Honda Accord, they're what, 32 grand? I don't know what's a Honda Accord cost.
Yeah, like 30, about 30. But I mean, if you go very economical, you probably find one like 19, 20.
Oh, you really? Okay, I didn't know that Honda Accord. I know Honda. What do you call that? The Civics were cheaper, but I didn't know the Accords were.
No, yeah, I'm talking about the Civics. Like if you go on a lower model on a Honda.
Well, yeah, then that wouldn't even be in the same range as a Tesla anyway. Yeah. But if you pick a car that's going to be equivalent to in a fossil fuel car to a Model 3, you're going to be looking at the mid threes anyway, low threes to mid threes. So you're going to be spending the money. You might as well go a few grand more and get a vehicle has very low maintenance costs, very low. I mean, there really is nothing to do to an electric car. You charge it. That's it, which is the exciting part. And again, the bonus is that it's completely, free of violating this earth. It's essentially environment friendly.
That's the biggest thing, right?
It is. Well, and the batteries I know are a different story, right? We need to find a way to mitigate either A, battery disposal, or B, battery rehabilitation. I mean, what do we do with all these battery packs that are coming out of the vehicles without just sticking them in a hole in the middle of the desert in Nevada and calling it good? That's not responsible. We need to find a way to, somehow properly recycle these, so we can reduce, reuse, recycle in a manner which is benevolent to ourselves and our posterity, that we're not overloading our world around us. So that's really what.
Overall, though, it's a lot better though compared to.
It really is. Yeah, for sure.
Fuel type cars.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah. And then you factor into that, if you can get solar put on your home or your business to charge the car, now you're not even using, artificial electricity. You're using electricity we generated from the sun, which is completely, and it's not like you're going to drain the sun dry. It's going to come up. So
that's funny.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that over time. But and it helps out. The bigger picture with solar too is it helps out with the overall grid. I mean, our electric grid, especially in Southern California, it's overtaxed. It really is. It's not in great shape. And so anytime that every individual homeowner can do their part to help decrease the load on the system, the better off the system's going to be.
Right.
Go ahead, put in solar. It's going to help during those peak hours of the day when you're getting a lot of solar energy out of the sun, or changing that from what it is as heat in order to change it to electricity, rather than taking direct artificial electricity. So.
And we come back to change, right? Like people just fear change.
A lot of times they do.
Well, at least homeowners, because or apartments and stuff like these, like you'd have to have the apartment owner do that, right?
Yeah, and odds are right. Odds are they wouldn't do that. It's mainly your single-family dwellings, people whose electric bills are really high, and then they get even higher when they buy an electric car.
Yeah.
And you want to get out of those top tiers, the third, fourth, and fifth tiers, especially the fourth and fifth tiers, because your electric rates are out of control expensive. So get down to the level 1, level 2.
Did you have a long night, Jeff?
I guess so, man. It's nap time.
Did you have coffee?
I need a cup of coffee at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. What's going on? Yeah. I'm drinking more water now, less coffee.
Really? What made you do that change?
Kidney stones, brother.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
about Yeah. Wow, there you are again.
Ambulance. It's a trials, man. It's a trial runs.
We gotta cut that out a little bit, right? We gotta cut that section out. Keep it real.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know the stones. I want to trying to liquefy the body as much as possible.
No more candy. No more sweets.
Trying to cut the fat, buddy. Cut the fat.
Are you still working out at home?
Every day. Oh yeah, every day. Yeah, trying to get in as much as we can. Yeah, 2 to 3 hours a day. That's important.
That's good, man.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, electric cars, man. I mean, kind of winging this one, but that was mainly it. Like the auto self-driving update,
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It is. We're going to see what happens when it comes out, and if people are ready for it, and to what degree is it self-driving. So that'll be interesting to see people's comments and feedback on the internet over time, if they're pleased with it, if it's doing what they wanted it to do, if it's doing as much, as little, what is the interaction from others? So that'll be interesting to find out.
I don't know if you want to jump into this topic, but what do you think about like the chips that people talk about? Do you think that's gonna have to do anything?
Embedded chips?
Embedded chips into people's, like, I guess, bodies. I don't want to say brain. I don't know if it's what would happen, but
well, it's already happened in some countries, I believe, to some level. Some of the Nordic countries, I think. It's more of a moral argument than anything, right? And do we really want, I mean, people say, well, then they're going to be able to track me. They could track you now on your cell phone.
Right.
There's more cameras out there than we could shake a stick at.
There's IP addresses and all this stuff.
Everywhere. But that doesn't mean it makes it okay. But I'm just saying, if you're trying to live where no one knows where you are, in case you're doing some nefarious behavior, then you probably shouldn't be in the city. But this idea of putting chips there, what's the reasoning for it, really? I mean, why? Why are we putting chips in people? Is it to monitor them? Is it to, pay their bills online by zapping their wrist across a scanner at the